Hello. So we're going to do another live. I'm really excited. Hello. So we're going to do another live. I'm really excited. Hello. So we're going to do another live. I'm really excited. This live is going to be a reading of energy. We're going to be using cards, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little different that I haven't done with you guys before, and this is me reading oracle cards, very simple oracle cards, and throwing tarot to clarify. So that should be interesting. So we're going to do that, and usually the tarot cards are very simple because of what I'm doing with them, why I'm using them that way. And yeah, so let me do that. So I'm waiting for 9 people, and we'll be using the following oracle decks. These are very simple oracle decks. Unshakable Inner Peace oracle deck, Blue Angel Michael oracle deck, and Mary of Magdalena Mysticism oracle deck. So we're gonna do Blue Angel Michael oracle deck and Mary of Magdalena Mysticism oracle deck. So we're gonna do something a little different, like I said. And let's see how many people are here. Let me see if I can start. So yeah, if you can share the live so we have 9 people, so they're not coming in midstream, that'd be awesome if you know anyone. And then let's go right into it. So this is something I do here and there. I don't do it a lot with clients because they usually want, answers really fast and stuff like that, which I totally understand. But what I'm going to do right now is ask a question about the divine masculine in the journey of of either the dark night of the soul, we'll see what comes up, or in their healing journey. What's going on with the divine masculine in their journey? 9 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and 5 of Pentacles. This is not good. Knight of Cups is an offer of love. It's a message of love. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Queen of Pentacles is facing the Knight of Cups. She's facing the offer of love, which is great. And she is, what is it? Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy. And the 5 of Pentacles is just feeling homeless, bereft, completely lost, okay? And that's not good at all. So if you can share the light, that'd be awesome. And then let's go right into, I'm going to look for one card from Mary Magdalena from the Knight of Cups. Let's see what it means. And simple gifts, 18. 18 in Kabbalah numerology, as you already know by now, is material spiritual conflict. Represents the number 9, God's perfect master number. Simple gifts, appreciation. Very cool. So I'm going to read to you. So the Knight of Cups is clarified by simple gifts from the deck of the Mary Magdalene oracle. Okay, let's read it. Keep your professional and personal hopes in mind, but be satisfied with available realities for the moment. Take a step back and be grateful for the gifts in your life right now. Other choices and directions will surface soon. Mary of Magdalena would have taught Sarah her vast knowledge of herb lore. Together they would have made various ointments and potions with the beautiful flowers and plants of Provence. The Gnostic Gospel says that Mary was once criticized for creating such things to share because she could heal people. She had been taught the ability and practiced alongside Yeshua as his equal partner. She told him not everyone is meant to be immediately healed by Source, and that some people must go through another process. Did you hear that? Why is this important? Let me repeat this because this is really beautiful wisdom. She had been taught the ability and practiced alongside Yeshua as his equal partner. She told them that not everyone is meant to be healed immediately by Source. Because some people learn from being ground to dust. Because some people are brought to their knees by illness. And some people need that humbling or that other perception or that empathetic gaze or the ability to be so vulnerable that they get to see, and not to mention the people around them are given the opportunity to help this person now being literally ground to dust because of their physical illness. And that means that people around can either rise to the occasion and come with generosity and help, or they can turn their back. And what happens when people get very sick with the big C, cancer, brain cancer, whatever it is, 80%, and this is my number, 75 to 80% of the people will leave your side when you're sick. And why is this important? Well, because then because many of you will heal, and you get to realize, oh shit, I thought they were my ride or die friend, and it turns out they were never friends, they were acquaintances. So let me continue. Source, and okay, so that other people must go through another process. These ointments and natural medicines created a sense of ease and comfort that allowed people to work on their own healing and well-being, as we are all responsible for the health of our own body temple. When engaged in the sweet, simple task in life, your mind is free to wonder, and imagine. This quiet space restores the spirit and is the revitalizing nourishment you need to keep going forward in difficult times. The ability to extract happiness from everyday activities is a gift in itself. This morning, I did a whole live on health, eating, and having an apothecary. This is so weird. So this was the clarification cards for the Knight of Cups. Let's look for the clarification cards for the Queen of Pentacles. And here we have Blessed Be, number 12. Again, from the deck of the Mary Magdalena. This is about the sacred masculine. The irony, why would I use Mary Magdalena for the sacred masculine? Because the most divine sacred masculine, Yeshua, that was his divine consort. And why wouldn't I use such an amazing feminine energy? So the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn is being clarified by 12. Blessed Be. Incoming messages. Listen to this. Small can be powerful. Don't overlook or dismiss something because of the size or humble appearance of the messenger. The information you receive could be highly significant to you and benefit the people around you. One of the pinnacles of the book of Rosalind Chapelle has a medieval carved stone flower with access for bees to create hives. It was built to shelter these small messengers of God, where men had no access to the hives. The honey could run down the interior wall on the left side of the Rosalind Chapel like a libation to Mary. In ancient Egypt, it was said that honeybees were created from the sun god's tears. They believed the bee could traverse the heavens and the underworld to bring back information. The Celts also considered bees to be messengers between the worlds. The bee is one of the oldest symbols of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. The French used the bee to denote royalty. The Merovingians used the bee to symbol and to show their connection to the oldest of French royalty, imbued with the bloodline of Yeshua and Mary of Magdalene, descendant from the royal house of David. The beehive is a matriarchal society. Perhaps they used the symbol to honor Mary Magdalena and Sarah, where the bloodline had originated and where it continued. We can learn to be like bees who gather pollen for themselves in their hives while doing good in the world. They pollinate plants to sustain nature and our environment, creating harmony and abundance. Blessed be. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we need to really be, if you have land, I would suggest you go get yourself, a beehive and start learning how to cultivate bees. The more of us boots on the ground that connect with bees, the more we're becoming the caretakers to Pachamama. We're allowing the little gardeners to do their work, their magic on this planet. I'm going to tell you something that's completely off topic, but on topic, and it's kind of important. But when there were something like 500,000 bees that died alongside the Rhine River about 15 years ago. It was like overnight, within 48 hours, all the bees had died. And it was discovered that it was Roundup. And guess what they did? They banned it. It's not allowed in Europe. It is not used at all because of the absolute devastation it created. So, you in America may want to start gathering and buying, buying bees, Italian bees. There's different types of bees. I could tell you a funny story in a minute, but let's go back to Five of Pentacles. And why is the Five of Pentacles? Why is the Divine Masculine trying to make an offer of love? And why is at the end of this feeling of homelessness, of despair coming up? Let's see what Mary Magdalena has to say. And this is 22 Magdalena's Portal Gateway. There you go. Let's read that. So I think it's fun. So there's feeling of homelessness with the Five of Pentacles. 22 is 4. And I'm getting the download to tell you that 5 plus 4 is 9. God's perfect master number. I don't think it's a sad thing, this feeling of homelessness, between the Queen of Pentacles and the offer of love by the Knight of Cups. I think there's transformation to be had, and that's what this number, 5 of Pentacles, homelessness, 222, the Oracle card of Magdalena's Portal of Gateway. I feel, there is a transformation that needs to happen with the Sacred Masculine, where he realizes that the love he carries for his lady, for his twin, is precious, and that part of the price to come into permanent union, it must be transformation. You cannot come from a place of lower frequencies to be in lasting union with your divine feminine. It's not going to work. So Magdalena's Portal Gateway, number 22. Lift yourself and raise your vibration higher so your consciousness can expand into the portal. What did I just say? It's crazy, right? There are new things to explore and experience that will change your life. You stand before a gateway you may enter if you choose to take that first step. It's a choice. A system of caves in Sambome is one of the oldest sacred sites in the Western world. The limestone caverns are part of the most extensive subterranean cave systems in the world, extending hundreds of miles into the inner earth. The ancient Greeks, Romans, and Ligurians and others believed it was inhabited by the goddess of fertility. It is said that Mary Magdalena traveled to and lived out her life at Sambome. The Cave of the Egg is a pilgrimage site still used for ceremony and teaching the divine feminine mysteries, just as Mary Magdalena taught her disciples around 47 CE. Tribes of different beings live within disciples around 47 CE. Tribes of different beings live within the portal at Sambome. Most have a frequency that is higher than terrestrial humans. The entry point to beautiful cities like Shambhala and Telos are guided by gates. Interestingly enough, I saw that being expressed in the book The Third Eye by Rampati Lopsang when they're up in the Himalayas walking, and the monks have such a high vibration that they walk through a portal and all the snows are gone, and what they see is a tropical jungle with macaws and waterfalls and things of that nature. You need the correct energy signature to pass through them to the portals. Did you hear that? You need the correct energy signature to pass through them to the portals. Why? Well, you can't see in 3D consciousness. That's why cynicism is not going to help you. And cynicism is not discernment. Don't confuse discernment with corrupted downloads and clear downloads and things of that nature. When your frequency is clear, when you have the light heart of a child, you'll see things. You'll see fairies. You'll see brownies. You'll see gnomes. You will. And you might think I'm crazy, but then again, I've seen it all. And you might think I'm crazy, but then again, I've seen a lot of things. Avatars have long been known to live in caves to access other worlds. There is a local legend of Mary of Magdalena ascending to the summit of Sambome, carried by angels each morning. It wouldn't be the first time high-dimensional beings were interpreted as angels. In caves, sensory deprivation can cancel out distractions and cause your higher mind to come to the fore. If you can't sit in a cave, you might sequester yourself in a dark room. If you see a cloud of blue light, focus on it until an image appears. This is spirit essence radiating from source. It is so high in vibration that it does not form atoms and molecules of matter. Yeah, it would be plasmic, if that much. It's interesting, when you're in a high vibration, you can really see. In fact, when people are in high vibrations, you've seen the orb pictures, right? I hope you know what I mean. They're orbs, they're beautiful golden orbs. And there's this idea that little avatars or little bodhisattvas sit in these, idea that little avatars or little bodhisattvas sit in these orbs. But usually these orbs appear when there's a lot of joy and the frequency is high. They'll appear around animals and children. They'll appear around people singing and laughing. And sometimes they appear just in nature, just floating. And people are actually taking photos of them and having like art shows showing orbs, various orbs and various types of orbs. I can say that I've taken pictures of my son with his dog, and I've seen orbs. I see orbs around him a lot, which is very interesting to me. Very, very interesting. All right, so we're going to pull out some cards because I want to go further into the Divine Masculine to find out what's going on. So far, so good. Any questions on what I'm reading, what I'm saying? Are you guys good? Okay. So the question that is going to come through is from the Unshakable Inner Peace. We have clarified the Knight of Cups to 18 simple gifts, appreciation. And now we're going to pull out a card to clarify that. And here comes trust your faith, dive into the unfolding journey. What is your faith asking of you? What are you attracted to? By the way, this is number 17, which is connected in tarot to star. In Kabbalah numerology, it's star the magic. And 1 plus 7 is 8. And there's paying karma. Why? Because some of you have betrayed yourselves. You haven't betrayed others. You're not here to actually pay for other people's karma so much as you're here to redo an incarnation, to readdress the fact that you were more afraid than fearless in many of your past incarnations, to proceed with your tools and your talents and your abilities to speak or influence or heal others. You felt back. You basically denied that ability, or you refused it. Okay, now we're going to clarify the Queen of Pentacles to the Blessed Bee. We just went through that. Let's see what we have to see here, what's being shown. Number 21, Great Awakening, walk in your truth, stand firm in your light. How can you trust yourself more? What did I just say? I mean, you can't make this up. What did I just say? How can you trust yourself more? So here are the two questions that the Divine Masculine is being asked of himself, from his guides. What is your faith asking of you is the question. And the second question would be, how can you trust yourself more? And then the last card we're going to clarify is the Five of Pentacles, feeling homeless. I just read the answer to that was the 22, Mary of Magdalena's portal, the gateway. 22. Let me see what we're going for and what is the final card. This is 19, and it is eliminate distractions. Stop shining light on things you are not. How can you reclaim your power? That is incredible. So this was the message for the Sacred Masculine who is going through their healing journey. Beautiful. Any questions or comments? All the cards that I just pulled for this deck, 17, 21, and 19 is fantastic. 21 is Crown of the Magi. 19 is Prince of Heaven. You can't, and 19 is connected to tarot, which is the sun. 1 plus 9 is 10. The Wheel of Fortune is on your side. And again, in Kabbalah numerology, 1 is the sun. So it's a win-win. I think I'm going to pull these cards now, and I'm going to do the Divine Feminine to see what she has to understand. And then we'll go and clarify very similarly with the Mary Magdalena deck. And the I like the Unshakable and the Inner Peace Oracle deck is a lot, actually. I'm shocked. I'm really enjoying these. All right, so what is the Divine Feminine in her healing journey? What does she need to understand? The Seven of Cups, the Knight of Cups comes back again, and the Ace of Cups. Fantastic. Seven of Cups is about emotional confusion, being overwhelmed. What should I do? What should I choose? And well, you should choose love. Always choose your heart. Stop using logic. This is not a Jane Austen novel. This is your life, okay? And you have a lot more freedoms. So the Seven of Cups is I'm overwhelmed by emotional choices. Knight of Cups is an offer of love. And Ace of Cups is new love. And new love can be a returning love. What do we have to know about Seven of Cups, please? What is the clarification on that? So we have the card of Mary Magdalena. It's 15. Hang on for a quick second. I have to describe this card actually because it's so beautiful. It's a unicorn with a half crescent moon looking down at a beautiful maiden. And it's called, the number is 15, which is magician, which is 6, Venus connected to the Venus planet. And the card is called The Lady and the Unicorn, Hidden in Plain Sight. Hidden in plain sight. Very good. Let's read it. Not everyone will comprehend your work and creation. Those that do will be enlightened by their meanings. Those that don't are not ready for them. Did you hear that? The early Arthurian romances were written to reveal the truth of the church of love, the grail, and the bride and bridegroom through allegory. It is said that love triangle of Guinevere, Arthur, and Lancelot was added to entertain Eleanor of Aquitaine while she was locked up by her husband, Henry II. Such stories were fashionable at the time, so we will overlook that aspect as a distraction. The 6, La Danse à Licorne. Tapestries contain scenes from the Song of Songs and the Cathar mysteries. The unicorn was used as a symbol for Christ. The lady was revered by the troubadours because they knew she was his bride, Mary of Magdalena. The scenes of the bride and the bridegroom appear in a fenced paradise garden with fertility symbols throughout, such as rabbits, fruit, and flowers. The carnation was the symbol for betrothal, and the periwinkle was the symbol for marriage. There is an open pavilion with a banner above the entrance saying, "À mon seul désir," which translates to my only desire. The Lion of Judah lies nearby. During the medieval period, the Great Grail heresy was kept in plain sight in art, music, and prose for future generations to decipher. Did you hear that? We've lost so much knowledge over the rabid refusal of the Catholic Church, the Catholic Church, to recognize the sacred union of Mary Magdalena and Yeshua, and yet it was known in the Middle Ages. Parables can be comprehended on many levels. The lessons gleaned depends on a person's knowledge, experience, and capacity for insight. You can carefully craft your work, values, and visions while hiding and protecting them in plain sight. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. That was incredible. What an incredible card. Let's continue. I want to clarify now, bear with me, the Knight of Cups. We've had the Knight of Cups for the sacred divine masculine. We saw that representing him coming towards love. You, Queen of Pentacles, a grounded energy, a divine feminine that is reliable. And then we have you represented by the Seven of Cups, being overwhelmed, not sure emotionally what to do. And here comes 15, the Lady and the Unicorn, talking about the divine grail, the divine union of the bridegroom and bride. Amazing. So it's talking about you, there's no doubt. So let's clarify the Knight of Cups, please. And here we have 33, again, which is 6. By the way, notice we had the Lady and the Unicorn, which is 15, which is 6. And now we have 3, which is 6. 6 is connected to Venus and love. The mystique of Magdalena, deep reflection, it's asking. Okay, so let's go to 33 and I'll read that to you. Okay, here we go. The mystique of Magdalena, deep reflection, number 33. Look deeply into the flame. Visualize the purification of fire burning through your deepest negative thoughts, the ones you have kept and held for so long. Emerge from those ashes knowing you are free to move on in love. Isis, the Egyptian mother goddess, is known as she of 10,000 names and 10,000 faces. Similarly, the Gnostic believed Mary of Magdalena keeps reincarnating to assist humanity. In 2,000 years, her soul could have returned on earth with 33 names and 33 faces. Humanity. In 2,000 years, her soul could have returned on earth with 33 names and 33 faces. Her enigmatic countenance and wisdom might be recognized, but here, in an unnamed face, her eyes are closed. She holds the candle of her infinite soul transcendent. She is part of you as sister, mother, and daughter. Mary's teachings declare that there is no knowledge, understanding, or wisdom without love. Power without love is evil and will give birth to evil. Where there is love, power will be exercised with wisdom. Priestess, beloved bride, and Yeshua's eternal muse, Mary embodies the Shekinah, Sophiatic principles of the goddess of love in equal partnership with her God. Meditate on Mary Magdalena and connect to her transcendental field of love. She is there to help you. Many groups around the world evoke her presence as she is the archetype of the modern woman. Men are also involved as they can feel their role in the sacred marriage and are empowered. Why is this important? Well, the Knights Templars were sacred holy monks who did everything they could to protect Mary Magdalena and the lineage of that bloodline. And it cost them their lives, as you all know. All right, let's read Ace of Cups. Why is Ace of Cups here? Please clarify. Again, from the deck of Mary Magdalena. We're seeing a lot of love here. A lot of love. A lot. And here we go. Salome's destiny, move on. And the card is 43. Let me point out something very interesting. We started with 7 of Cups. We end with the Mary Magdalena deck with 43, which is 7. So 7 is the journey, okay? It's Salome's destiny, move on. 43. Let's look at what that says. Bear with me while I look for the page. Salome's destiny, move on. Gather the lessons learned and apply them to the next place or project. This could be in another location or partnership. Mary Salome was with Mary of Magdalena on the boat that arrived in Saint-Marie de la Mer in southern France. Salome was a favorite disciple of Mary of Magdalena and was a constant companion to her in the Holy Land and later in Provence. Salome is written about as a much-loved sister of Yeshua. Mary Magdalena taught Salome the secret feminine mysteries and the Shekinah light transmission. Gnostic tradition says she became Mary's successor after her death and continued to travel and teach. This tradition was passed from mother to daughter for hundreds of years. European rulers sought the women for marriage to incorporate the prestigious bloodlines of the vine into their royal families. For instance, the line of king calls Merovingian from the root word mer, M-E-R, Mary, and vin, vine, hid Mary's legacy in plain sight. It is time to go forward and break away from the past. If you have a relationship question, things may be stimulated by movement and change or may be finished. You will know as time goes on and can act accordingly. That was the message for the Divine Feminine. Let's keep going. Now I'm going to take it from the Unshakable Truth. We're going 7 of Cups to the Lady and the Unicorn, 15, to see what is the divine message. And here we have Midas touch. Remember? There's something interesting about the unicorn. It's funny how I call really good men unicorns. Turns out it's a symbol of Yeshua. Anyway. Midas touch. Things are working out in your favor. In what ways are you abundant right now? So write this question down. In what ways are you abundant right now? Write it down. I love the 33 cards. So do I, Beth. I really do too. So again, we have, now this is 16. Okay, 16 is 7. Remember 7 of Cups was the first card we looked at? 15 with the card of the Lady and the Unicorn. And now we have 16. Again, 7 and 6 keeps coming up again and again. All right? So the journey. It's talking about the journey. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, now we're going to clarify the Knight of Cups to the 33, the Mystic of Magdalena, with a card to see what they have to say. And here we have number 3. Did you notice? So now we have 333, which is 9. God's master number. This is wild. I'm like blown away. And you'll see in a minute because I'm going to remind you of something. So we've got 33 above it, and now with this card is 3, so we got 333. You cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. Where is your heart guiding you? 333, that's 9's perfect master number. Now we've got the last card we're clarifying, which is the Ace of Cups, a new love, a transformed love. And then we have the second card, which is 43. Oh, okay. I just realized I made a mistake. I saw 45. That's okay. 43 is 7. 7 is the journey, so we keep getting the journey. And let's clarify this card. And let's go. And this is massive. This is celebration. This is number 37. This is wild. 43, 37. Okay. 37 is 10. Isis, Osiris. It becomes the sun, the one. Rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. Well, that should blow your mind. Rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from the drama? That's intense. It's so intense that I'm going to have a final card because we have 9 cards laid out. And I want to get one final card from the Mary of Magdalena deck. And here we go. 27, unconditional love. Move beyond fear, to clarify the whole reading. 27 again is 9. There's a lot of 9s here. There's a lot of 9s. There's a lot of magic surrounding you guys. All right, so 27, unconditional love. Move beyond fear. Adapting to a new situation is challenging, but necessary. Your old paradigm is breaking down. Move forward and make a fresh start. It is said that you can only hold your children's hands for a short while, but you hold their hearts forever. When Mary of Magdalena and Sarah landed in the Camargue with their extended family, they were strangers in a strange land. The local people must have been astounded that they arrived without sails and oars, a sign the group was not only divinely guided, but of a special lineage. Because of their miraculous arrival, the group would have had help acclimating and getting orientated with the unfamiliar landscape. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Camargue. Camargue is a place I've always wanted to go. They're famous for their wild rice, their bulls, and their wild white cream horses. It's a beautiful, wild place. It's very feral. Sarah was still young, between 9 and 12 years old, when she arrived in Camargue. She was called the Egyptian because she was born in Egypt when her family was in exile. Her name means princess, but the locals were told she was a servant to protect her identity. You can see how the Knights Templars were protecting these families, right? This family, when they started emerging. She became revered by the people in Camargue, who later called her Saint Sarah, the patron saint of the Romani. She is still honored on May 24th, when people from the 4 corners of Europe and beyond gather at Saint-Marie-de-la-Mer to venerate their saints with intense fervor. Starting over can cause great anxiety, especially if you are moving into unknown territory. You will find it gets easier when knowledge dispels fear and you find a way to leave the past behind. Move forward. New opportunities will emerge, as well as new friends and new allies. That's an incredible card. I'm glad we did that. Any questions or comments on the read? Did this connect with anyone? And tell me the ones that you thought were not connecting with you and the ones that you thought were connecting with you. 9 came up a lot. 7 is the journey, and 6 is choices. So 6 and lots of 3s and 9s, and it's amazing. Any comments on that? Did anybody connect with that fully? Because if you connected with that fully, it was beautiful to listen to. Oh, cool. I'm glad. I hope it connected with you guys in some aspects. I love these cards. This deck is very short and magical. I have to read this last card. It's actually the Sacred Masculine. I'm going to read it because it came up. I was at the bottom of my deck, and I'm going to go with this. It's called 11. The guardian, be your own guard. So I'm going to read it to you because, again, this is a Knights Templars, and that's what I've been talking about. So he's got the red cross on his chest, and he's got a massive sword. Be on your guard. Be aware as you venture forward. Deception is possible. Don't reveal where your precious things are hidden. Stay silent. The knowledge, listen to this, the knowledge that Mary of Magdalena and Yeshua were married and had children was punishable by death and carefully guarded for future generations. Some believe this knowledge the great heresy and may have been the reasons behind the Inquisition. When people say that this book and that book, I'm actually going to bring up Billy, you know who I'm talking about, Billy, my mind is blank, I'm so tired, Billy Carson. And this is not to defend him at all. It's the argument that a Bible written literally on the 4th century AD would have more value than what the Knights Templars were guarding with their very lives. A secret. That, and this is going to blow your mind when I'm about to read, that these men bowed their knee to a woman who had been Yeshua's eternal consort, his divine lady. That's what I resent about these Bible thumping, breaking your head with the Bible and saying this is the only truth when there's so many truths that were hidden, buried, and people lost their lives over these truths that were being destroyed by the Catholic Church. Let's not forget, before Rome was a Catholic Church, it was feeding Christians to the lions. Let's never forget how it all began. Never. Let's never forget. Listen to this. Some believe this knowledge was the great heresy and may have been the reason behind the Inquisition. In 1212, of all the days I'm reading this to you, today's Friday the 13th. In 1212, Templar Hugh de Lacy built the old narrow water castle keep on Califord Lough that flows out to the Irish Sea. Local legend says the Templars brought some secret scrolls to monasteries in the British Isles for safekeeping. These documents were brought to the 5 places they are known: Roslin, Glastonbury, and a holy site on the shores of Califord Lough. As a faraway place, Ireland was a good choice for retreat. It is not generally known that one of the original Templars came to live there. You can still see fossils in the place names along the way to the keep. My husband's family lived in Hugh de Lacy's narrow water keep from the 1600s until they built a larger castle on the hill below. The family symbol of a Grail family can be found in the stained glass windows depicting the family's coat of arms, the engrailed chevron, the X, and the Mérovingien gant bear. Be conscious of what is going on around you and invoke your protection in whatever form you envision your guardian to be. Why is this important? Because many of you are going through an awakening. In fact, many of you, a lot of you are already in some awakened state, but you're still dealing with fear and so forth. And so I'm just, we're still dealing with fear and so forth. And so I'm just, I'm just like with this energy. And so what I'm going to say is please call on your protection, your angels, your guides, your allies. If you are going through weird things that are just inexplicable, that seems nefarious or spooky or whatever, just do everything that we've been telling you to do to protect your energies, and you'll be right as rain. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. As a matter of fact, as I tell all my clients who get kind of freaked out on unexplained things, I can tell you that it's a good sign, because they would never mess with you if you were not important. It resonated with you a lot. I'm so glad. I started getting downloads at the beginning. Fantastic. Wonderful. Anyway, I'm going to take a short break. Just hang on for a quick second. I got to check on something. I'll be right back. Okay, bear with me. I'll take a short break and we'll... Anyway, I'm going to take a short break. Just hang on for a quick second. I got to check on something. I'll be right back. Okay, bear with me. I'll take a short break and we'll... Anyway, I'm going to take a short break. Just hang on for a quick second. I got to check on something. I'll be right back. Okay, bear with me. I'll take a short break and we'll... Anyway, I'm going to take a short break. Just hang on for a quick second. I got to check on something. I'll be right back. Okay, bear with me. I'll take a short break and we'll do another reading. Thank you. I hope you, yeah, so, so we're back and very happy that you stayed. Let me see. So what would you like me to ask? I like to do a card, a person. And so this is an opportunity. I don't often do that from the Mary Magdalena deck because I think it's a great deck. So if you want me to do that, let me know and just ask a question. I'll pull a card on that just for the hell of it, just for fun. Any questions on, feel free. Would you like to have a question answered on a deck? Okay. Any questions or comments on a deck? I mean, really, if you, this is your opportunity to get a card pulled. If you don't want to, I'll move on. And then after that, I'm not doing it. I'm just letting you know. I'm kind of tough like that. It's like, hesitate, and he who hesitates is lost. So if you have a question, great. If not, let's move on. All right, so I'm going to take it that no one's interested, so I'll go ahead and move on. So the next card that I want to pull from is going to be from the Inner Peace Oracle deck, which I thought is a really interesting deck. It's really simple. It's like very, very simple. And I want to just see what you guys, because you guys hesitate too much. I'm going to be honest. We're moving on, my love. I'm not being, I just want people to have a little more urgency. Stop thinking on your hands, my love. All of you, please, I'm begging you. I'm going to do a deck on a card because, and I'm going to tell you why. Because just when an opportunity knocks, jump on it. Don't think, just jump, just do it. And then you'll be surprised the gifts that are there for you. But I find that when I do lives, that I'll ask a question and it takes like literally like damn near a minute before anybody answers. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm wondering if you guys are so shy that you're like, I don't know, it's weird, like you're kicking rocks. And I'm like, what, I mean, if I said, listen, I got $100 for you, first person that says, yeah, I'll take it, would you actually hesitate? I'm wondering. So I'll get to you in a minute. D.S. Williams, I'll get to you in a minute, but right now, it's kind of a lesson right now. I need people to jump on opportunities, right? When it comes, jump. Don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Don't second, well, I don't have a question. Any question. Just let your fingers type something. All right, so the question I'm asking is, what do they have to learn in this incarnation? Eliminate distractions. Stop shining light on things you are not. It came up again. 19. How can you reclaim your power? I think that's apropos. I really do. You know what I mean? I think it's totally apropos. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Any questions or comments on that? What are your thoughts on that? I'm just, or unless there's a delay in typing, like getting the message. Hang on for a quick second. Hang on, okay? Let me see here. I have to send somebody some information. I would love one. Any questions or comments? Okay, this is interesting. Any questions or comments on what you think you might want to ask for the collective? I'm sorry, I'm like distracted myself. You might want to ask for the collective. I'm sorry, I'm like distracted myself actually right now. I'm doing something at the same time. Let me do this. So, what would be your question, D.S. Williams? What is your question? What is your question? Do you have a question? Okay, I'm just waiting. I'm just going to wait. All right, so any questions? No? Okay. All right, my loves, you guys are tired, I think. And I know I'm tired too. So I will let you go. I'm asking about my daughter. Is she going through her own awakening? Okay, no, the question's for you, if you don't mind. It's for you. Okay? Ask for you if you don't mind. Do you mind? Because I would love it if we did something else. Like, for example, if we showed more towards you. Okay? More of you caring for yourself. Right? So what would be your question for yourself? I'm asking about my daughter. Is she going through her own awakening? I'm sure she is. I mean, I don't need a card to tell you that. But can you ask a question in regards to you? That would be better. And I'll tell you why. Because you have to learn how to really... Because you're not healed either. And you're not fully awakened. Neither am I. So the question would be, am I awakening? Because if I wake up as the matriarch of my family, most likely everyone will benefit. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? So if the question could be, am I awakened more or have it, very good. Thank you. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so for you, Mia, the question is 6, emerging from the shadows, reveal what is hidden. Emerging from the shadows. So 6 is the card of love. If you guys think I'm tough sometimes, you know why I'm tough? Because if you can't, let me put it this way. If you can't advocate and be urgent in something as benign as a tarot reading on a TikTok live, then it shows me, and yeah, it's giving me a clue that there's something where your hesitation has been a problem in your life. You have to jump. If somebody said, 100, yes, it should be yes until further notice. You know, you can always change your mind and backpedal, but you should be yes, yes. Any opportunity, yes. Do you want yes, a glass of milk, yes. And then at some point, if you know, you can always change your mind. But if you wait too long and the opportunity, the portals close, you can't. There's nothing to change because the opportunity has left the building. That's my point. That's why I do things like that sometimes. All right, 6, emerging from the shadows. So this is for you, Mia. It's time to speak your truth. Did you hear this? Don't hold back if it will benefit or liberate others. Bringing the truth to light is likely to bring release and enhance your well-being. The hidden others. Bringing the truth to light is likely to bring release and enhance your well-being. The hidden queen was unacknowledged and so became black or hidden. There are countless examples in the Bible where people are so became black or hidden. There are countless examples in the Bible where people are referred to as being black as a way of saying concealed. For example, the prince of King David's line were symbolically black, meaning unrecognizable. Their princes were brighter than snow and whiter than milk, but now they are blacker than soot. They are not recognized in the streets. Lamentations 4:7-8 NIV. This is how the exiled queen and princess became symbolized as the Black Madonna, so prevalent in Europe. She was the unknown bride, the hidden queen. It's true too when you go into parts like in Russia, the Madonna is always black and the child is black. That's actually true. You'll see that a lot. Worship of her eventually led to the Inquisition as the patriarchal church tried to bury her. The heretical knowledge of the beloveds was kept alive through art, symbols, plays, and literature for those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. The power of truth is at work in your life, shining through the cracks, ready to burst forth and dissolve the shadows. Your qualities will be honored, and authenticity will rule the day. Authenticity would rule the day. They're not kidding. So that's your message. DS, okay. How can I best help my own girls in their journey? You're not asking, when you ask a question about yourself, right? Do you understand? Here, this is something that mothers need to understand. Okay, so I'm going to just, when you heal your womb, when you selfishly, I'm going to put in quotation marks, heal your womb, you've just healed the wombs of your daughters. Do you see where I'm coming from now? Does that make sense? Okay, so you keep asking, and I love that you keep asking about your daughter, this daughter, that daughter. But do you understand, when you heal you bore the fruit of your love, right? And the fruit was your daughters. When you heal the womb, right, your daughters will awaken. This is why I go back to the story of Sleeping Beauty. When she gets the kiss, everyone, when she wakes up, everyone gets awakened, one by one by one. And that's what's important. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? It pertains to me. How can I help myself to help them? Yes. So let me look. And in that comes 16, hope and illumination. Hold the light. 16, hope and illumination. Hold the light. And here we go. Holding space for others can be exhausting. You can't make this up, okay? And sometimes thankless job. Remember to take time out for yourself to process your feelings. I'm not making this shit up. I swear to God, I pulled the card on my own. I mean, this is my whole going back and forth with you, DSW, was that point. I'm going to repeat it. Holding space for others can be exhausting and sometimes a thankless job. Remember to take time out for yourself to process your feelings. Mary Magdalene's exile in Egypt must have been a difficult time for her. It is said that Joseph of Arimathea was her guardian and other family members were with her all those years, but she would have had to bear being separated from her bridegroom while she remained in the third density realm. In Egypt, Mary birthed her child in secret, so the Davidian bloodline would remain hidden. Her teachings would help hold the space as she was physically, mentally, and emotionally present for the others. Holding space means putting your focus on someone other than yourself and supporting them as they explore their feelings in a loving, non-judgmental space. Mary was able to raise her frequency and meet with Yeshua on other planes, such as the sacred marriage chamber in Hyrus Games. Here, their souls would joyfully reunite in the embrace of the true light continuum. Holding this presence illuminated her for all to see and feel. In this way, others experience their sacred love. Have the patience to stay in a place and wait patiently for a while. It won't be forever. In the painting, the dove sleeps while waiting for humanity to awake. The flame burns clear and bright as a symbol of hope. So it's also holding sacred space, because as you read these cards, you find out that Mary Magdalena would take time for herself. Does that make sense? I hope that answered your question. Okay, D.S. Williams. But you have to hold a lot of sacred space for yourself, and you'll have aha moments and downloads as to what to do for your girls, right? And then you'll be divinely guided. But you've got to carve out a lot of space for yourself. You need to. You can't always be a mother. You have to be a high priestess that is also a mother, not a mother that then dwells into becoming a high priestess. That's the opposite direction. It's the wrong direction, if that makes sense. What do you need to heal the best support your kids through their transitions? Honesty, because if you don't do it, nefarious characters will. I'll answer that question, because you don't need cards for that. That's just, you need to be honest about everything. You need to be the point of reference of knowledge on everything. Biology, sexuality, hormone changes, integrity, honor, philosophy, various types of religions, beliefs, reincarnation, why some people don't believe it, why many people believe it. Why was religion used to suppress the masses? How is, everything, everything. And all of these things can be learned through poetry, through watching a movie together. That might be a little advanced and you have a discussion about it. In fact, it's homework. It's not just for fun, but you have a discussion about the movie, maybe on a walk, hiking, and say, hey, that movie we watched last night, what do you think about it? What do you think the character could have done? Was it honorable? Did it have integrity? What made you uncomfortable about the movie? Things of that nature. Reading books out loud to your children, watching documentaries, a lot of talking and walking, and a lot of talking about the honesty of the transition of the physical of a child going from being a child to going through hormonal changes, to what's going on at school, and being very much involved in school so you can vibe out the school, like walking in and volunteering, or playing games like you forgot to pack their lunch, and get, being allowed to walk through so you can get a vibe of the hallways, a vibe of the teachers, so that you can get this data, this intel with it, so that you can see what maybe is not being shared with you. That's what I would say. Yeah, exactly, DS. I know. So it's not easy. Does that make sense? So that's how you support your kids. And the transition, you have to ask them hard questions that would be like, for example, I'm gonna give you an example, okay? And this is not for children. I mean, this particular channel isn't for children, really. But let's ask the question. So if I had a teenage girl or boy, or early 20s, and they said, I think I'm bisexual, I would ask them a lot of very important questions. A lot of what you might call personal questions. Questions like, well, can you see yourself doing X, Y, and Z? Well, no. Oh, okay. Well, then do you think you're really bisexual, or do you think you're just curious, or you're attracted to same sex because maybe you have a soul connection with them? And things of that nature. Because what happens in our society right now, kids we're normalizing exploring sex at a very young age, way too young, number one. And they don't even know about tantric sex. They know all about the lower levels of sexuality, but none of the higher levels, none of the tantric. And if I were a parent, which I have been a parent, and I have done this, is I would talk to my son or daughter and saying about tantra, and why it was invented, and how it was invented, and what the purpose of that is, and what is spiritual sexual STD, and what does that mean? Not being in a weird way, and talking about the obvious things that your kids aren't telling you they know, but they know. So that means that you need to have a pulse of what's being talked about at a certain age group. You need to know. That means you need to keep yourself informed. That means you might have to go into algorithms that you don't really want to fucking look at, but you need to know so you can say, oh yeah, have you heard about blah, blah, blah? And they can look at you shocked like you know about them, and then you can have a discussion about if this is within the realms of a healthy pursuit or a healthy curiosity, or if they might want to look at something else that could be more in line with what they're looking to do. Because kids get really sadly confused, and they have a lot of, no offense, idiot friends with idiot parents who are absolutely not present at all. They don't have Sunday dinners. They don't take hikes and walks with their kids. They don't ask them converse. In fact, if when they pick up their kids, they'll say, how was school? And the kids go, okay. And that's the end of the fucking conversation. Let's go get some groceries, or let's make dinner. That's the extent. Instead of trying to pull out as much information of their kid as possible at a later date, at a more relaxed time. Insisting to find out, how's the kid? Because, when you hear about kids taking their lives, you wonder, not to blame the parents, because quite often, unfortunately, the parents were very much aware that their kids were being bullied, and they were doing all they could to tell superintendents, principals, and teachers to cease and desist, and to somehow protect their child. And of course, those adults fail those kids, and they get away with this. They get away with it constantly. But we're not talking about those parents. We're talking about parents who are in shock when they find their kid no longer alive. Shocked. And that's a problem. I remember doing a reading on a client. I'll never forget. This was a 12-year-old boy who had taken his life. And believe it or not, it was a chat. I was working for a company, a psychic company. I couldn't believe it. Like a chat, oh my God. But somehow I picked up on what I needed to pick up on. And she asked me and it's probably the only time I withheld something from a client because it was not going to help her. And I'll explain. So this kid was being bullied, and he was gay. He was in the football team. His father was, I could tell the energy of the father, and I'm saying, is the father kind of machismo, not machismo, but like alpha male type, strong and to football, this and that. The kid was in football. And she asked me, she said, did my husband say anything to my son to cause my son to make that choice? And I was told, don't tell her. It will never help her. It will harm her for the rest of her life. And I've never done that before or since, where I withhold information. But in this case, 1, it was a chat. 2, I was told by my guys, don't tell her. But I will tell you. The kid had asked his father, he was being bullied because he's gay. And he had asked his father, because it was his father, and he thought, I can trust my dad, and my dad loves me. And he asked his father about being gay. Not him being gay, but just hypothetically, what do you think about gay men and what is that about? And what does it mean? And his father said some pretty fucked up shit. And at that point, the kid already had self-loathing and did the deed. Okay? So, as parents, we need to be aware of what we say, when we say it, how we say it, and our conversations need to be massively open. It can't be closed, but it has to ask a lot of explorative questions. How would you feel if you did this? Would that feel good? Would you like that? What's going on in the class? Is there a teacher that you don't trust? Why is that? You got to ask them a lot of questions, because kids get ashamed. They want to protect their parents. There's 2 things that are always the theme. I don't want to disappoint my parents. I want to protect my parents, and I'm so ashamed. And it's your job to get that information on the weekly, on the daily if possible. But you don't want to bully your kid. But you want to kind of like take those long walks in the woods. And like I said to a lot of clients, I said, walking loosens the tongue. And it does. If you take any human being on a long walk, they will say shit to you that they're not even aware of. And that's not manipulative. It's just the human body is relaxed and everything is coming out. It's just, organic. So that's important in my opinion. It pertains, okay. Any questions or comments on that? Does that make sense? That's really super important in my opinion. Okay. Teachers and principal are being charged for SA here in Oregon. 10 staff in trouble. Good. When I went to school, I'm going to tell you something. When I went to, this was Pacific Palisades High School in Pacific Palisades, California, right next to Malibu. It was called one of the best schools, probably one of the best public schools, I'd say, in California. And I was 14 at the time, 14, 15. I just moved to this country from France. And I can tell you that I knew at least 3 male teachers having sex with 14-year-old girls, my school chums. And I also remember hearing a story of a male teacher marrying an 18-year-old student. When she turned legal, he married her. So this was in 1970s, so this is not new. When I went to high school in New York, one of my teachers, another male, was the assistant who was 16 or 17. He was having relationships with her, and our female gym teacher was having a relationship with some of the younger boys. So, when people go, oh my God, no, it was never new. It's always been. It's just now everyone has social media, Snapchat, and people are getting busted, Finally, it's about time people got, paid the piper. My youngest has esoteric things happen around her, and she gets uneasy, and I'm the only one she comes to. That's great, but teach her how to sage. I'm trying to guide her the best way I can. Okay, so I'm glad to hear about them being charged. That's great news. That should be across the country. You know, I think teachers are responsible. Principals, you know what? If they made superintendents and principals responsible, where they could face probation or anything like that over a kid that's got a paper trail of being bullied and nothing was done, and they lose their lives by their own hand out of despair. I'm going to tell you something. If we started charging the superintendents and principals and the teacher of the main class, you'd be funny how they'd all get in fucking line and start fucking stopping the bullshit and telling those kids, yeah, you're suspended for 2 weeks. And the parents losing their minds, of the bullies. When that starts getting real and they have to pay the price, it'll be funny how suddenly they can control kids from bullying. Suddenly there'll be no tolerance for bullying. I mean, for real, not just a little fucking poster in the bathroom, but real no tolerance. Because we have lost way too many kids to the ineptness of these teachers. And some of the teachers are involved. They are involved. They are bullies themselves. And principals don't give a fuck. And you've got and superintendents just make $250,000 or whatever the hell they're making. They don't give a shit either. So it's up to you as teachers. PTA, my ass. Start your own fucking parent coalition. Fuck the PTA. Make your own. Parents Against Bullying, and just start your own group and get everybody you can to join and push, pressure. The county, the city, the superintendent's office, just start pushing for some laws, some bills that put these people under notice. You lose a kid, from unaliving because they've been bullied, and there's witnesses and there's a paper trail. Yeah, game over. You're done. So you better do your thing. Because the only other thing I could tell you, if that's happening to you, or of someone where this is happening, my advice to you is to pull the kid immediately. I'm not joking. Get a letter from the doctor going, they can't do this. They're going through massive depression. Get them out of school and into homeschooling. That's the end of it. And do not connect your homeschooling to the school that bullied them. Go into another charter school and enter them into some kind of system where you can document, that the work's being done and this and that. But get them out of that environment. Do not fucking try to work it out. After like a month or two, game over. You're out. Okay? I'm a former teacher and this hurts. I care so deeply for all of my students. Yes, but Alexandra, I had 2 teachers I totally loved. One was called Mademoiselle Cousinet, and I was 10 years old. I still remember her name. That should tell you something. And the second teacher I loved was Mrs. Humes in my last year of high school, who taught me comparative literature. She was a Princeton University graduate. Okay, she was incredible influence in my writing. Okay, those 2 were amazing teachers. But in between that, I have nothing good to say personally myself, and not just for myself, but for seeing my friends being seduced by male teachers. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I'm not going to act like it wasn't happening. It was happening a lot. And in every school, it didn't matter if I was in Hong Kong, it didn't matter if I was in Switzerland, it didn't matter if I was in France, it didn't matter if I was in LA or California or New York State. It did not matter. I saw it again and again and again. So clearly, it's not an isolated incident at all. It's a problem that goes. It's a worldwide problem. Clearly, right? I mean, can we agree on that? I mean, obviously, right? And it's one of the gifts of the way I lived in as a child, as a teenager. I got to see the human darkness, the underbelly of people's lust and their abuse of power over kids underage. That's what I saw. So I'm sorry that it might be shocking, but it's a real story here. And you were probably one of the teachers that people will remember until the day they die, just like Mrs. Hume. I'll never forget her name. In fact, at the age of 40-something, I found her and called her to thank her. And she was amazing. And we had a wonderful chat for an hour, and I just kept thanking her for being the great influence that got me into really understanding Shakespeare. She broke down Shakespearean language, and I just I owe her a lot. And so, but I'm talking about 2 teachers in what, 18 years of education in, preschool all the way to high school. That's not a lot. I should have had a lot more good teachers than that. And I wasn't the only one that had issues. I saw it with a lot of kids. So, it is what it is. We just got to do better. What school, or somebody's asking the question, what school are you referring to? I don't watch the news. I'm in Oregon. St. Helene's. Wow. Well, I'm kind of glad that they're having to face some charges. I'm sorry. They should have been, maybe, God knows how many young people they failed. And finally, karma is coming to collect payment. That's all I got to say on that. And I hope no teachers has been wrangled into that drama because they were near the drama. Maybe there's 1 out of 10 that really maybe doesn't even deserve it, and here they are. Does that make sense? I hope that's not the case. That really maybe doesn't even deserve it, and here they are. Does that make sense? I hope that's not the case. But maybe this will become a domino effect. I can tell you that my friend who works at the charter school, it's now a charter school in Pacific Palisades, okay? She used to work in the ghetto because, the first 2-3 years of school, once you get your degree, you got to work in the ghetto. So she did. And I'll never forget how she would buy like $600 worth of food at Costco, then another $600 to $700 of art supplies. She's an art teacher. And how the first 3 weeks of school, all those kids, because they were poor, they had nothing to eat. The only meal they'd have would be a school lunch. I kid you not. And for whatever reason, like they're confused, like they don't know that school's going to start. Now, maybe they should have their lunch program in place, but no, everyone acts like this is a brand new year. They've never ran a school before. So my point is, none of the kids had food for the first 2 to 3 weeks, depending, because they didn't have, the approval and the money and the funding. And I'm like, what about all these fundraisers? Or what do you mean you have no money? Come on. And so she would provide in her classroom the Lunchable boxes, those with the cheese and the this and the that. And she would pass them out. Those kids were fucking starving. They hadn't eaten in like 24 hours, many of them. And you would think that day one, the lunch program would be full on. Let's go. We're ready. We got oatmeal. We got chocolate milk. We're ready. We do this every year. We're like a well-oiled machine. We know what to do. Let's have the lunch ready. Let's have the breakfast ready. Let's have extra snacks for those kids who we know have no food at home. We know. We can identify them. But they won't do that. And you who are teachers know exactly what I'm talking about. You know it. So it's crazy. Also, there's no paying forward. A lot of the families that have money don't pay it forward, and many of them do, though. And I think that we should try to get families that have a lot of money that are sending their kids to public school. That means they're not paying anything. They're paying taxes, but that's about it. Where a paying forward situation might be influenced so that kids can actually go home with extra food to go home, to have dinner, things of that nature, or gift cards to grocery stores, things of that nature. Anyway, so you got hopefully you can look that up, DS, and see all about that particular